Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Western Flavors. In our last episode, Amy and Ty experienced one of the most emotional days of their lives, their first ultrasound appointment for baby Lindy. The day started with anxiety, as Lou and Tim's well-meaning criticism triggered Ty's deep fears about becoming a father. Jack's reassurance and the gift of the family cradle provided some comfort, but Ty's terror of repeating his abusive father Wade's patterns persisted. At the hospital, they heard their baby's heartbeat for the first time and saw the tiny form on the ultrasound screen, both crying tears of joy and wonder. Unable to face going home immediately, they drove through the Alberta countryside, eventually stopping at a scenic lookout where Ty opened up about Wade's cruelty and his deepest fears. Amy fiercely promised him he would be an amazing father because he chose to be different. If you're enjoying this series, please hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss a chapter. Today's episode continues their journey through that transformative night as they discuss baby names, make promises to their unborn child under the stars, and finally return home to share their joy with family. Let's dive in. The night had fully settled around them as they continued driving, the highway stretching endlessly through the darkness. The ultrasound pictures still sat on the dashboard, occasionally catching the light from passing cars. Amy had been quiet since the lookout, processing everything Ty had shared, her hand resting protectively on her small belly.
You hungry? We haven't eaten since breakfast.
Starving, actually. The baby's demanding food.
Let's find somewhere to stop.
20 minutes later, they pulled into a small roadside diner, the kind of place that looked like it hadn't changed since the 1970s. A neon sign flickered "Eat" in faded red letters, and through the windows they could see vinyl booths and a long counter with spinning stools. Inside, the diner was nearly empty, just a tired-looking waitress, an old man nursing coffee at the counter, and a trucker in a back booth. They slid into a booth near the window, and the waitress appeared with menus and water glasses. "What can I get you folks?"
2 burgers, fries, and… Amy, what do you want to drink?
Chocolate milkshake. Extra chocolate.
Pregnancy craving? Amy's hand instinctively went to her belly, and she smiled.
That obvious?
"I had 3 kids. I recognize the look. Congratulations, honey." She disappeared to place their order, and Amy and Ty sat in comfortable silence for a moment, both exhausted but somehow energized by the enormity of the day.
We should talk about names.
Now?
When better. We're alone. We have time. And we just saw our baby for the first time. Seems like the perfect moment.
Okay, what are you thinking?
If it's a boy, I want to name him Jack, after Grandpa. He's been everything to us, and I can't think of a better person to honor.
Ty felt his throat tighten with emotion. Jack, who'd taken him in when no one else would. Jack, who'd believed in him, taught him, loved him like a son. Naming their son after him felt absolutely right.
Jack Borden. I love it. What about a middle name?
What about Peter? After your mom's father?
Amy, I barely knew him.
But he was a good man, right? From what you've told me, he tried to help your mom, tried to protect you when he could. That deserves to be remembered.
Jack Peter Borden. Yeah, that works. That works.
The waitress returned with Amy's milkshake, and she took a long drink, sighing with satisfaction.
What if it's a girl?
I don't know. What are you thinking?
I've been thinking about Lindy, my grandmother, Jack's wife. She died before I really got to know her, but from everything Grandpa says, she was strong and kind and loved this family fiercely. I think she'd be honored if we named a daughter after her.
Lindy Borden. It's beautiful.
Lindy Marion Borden, to honor both grandmothers.
Ty reached across the table and took her hand.
Those are perfect names for either baby. Jack or Lindy, both honoring family, both carrying forward legacy.
Do you have any preferences, boy or girl?
Honestly, I'm terrified either way, but also excited. I just want them to be healthy and happy.
Me too.
Their food arrived, and they ate with the ravenous appetite of people who'd forgotten to eat all day. The burgers were greasy and delicious, the fries perfectly crispy, and Amy's milkshake disappeared in record time.
Can I ask you something?
Always.
What kind of parent do you want to be? Like when you imagine yourself with our baby, what do you see?
Amy considered the question, chewing thoughtfully.
I want to be like my mom, present, but not overbearing. Teaching them about horses and nature, but also letting them find their own path. I want to be the parent they can come to with anything, no judgment, just love and support. And I want to make sure they know about their heritage, about Marion, about Heartland, about the Fleming legacy.
She paused, looking down at her barely visible bump.
But I also want to be my own kind of mother, not just copying what my mom did, but finding my own way. Does that make sense?
Perfect sense. I think you're going to be an incredible mom, Amy. Patient and loving and strong. Everything a kid needs.
What about you? What kind of father do you want to be?
Ty was quiet for a long moment, pushing fries around his plate.
I want to be everything. Wade wasn't present, patient, supportive. I want our kid to never doubt that they're loved, that they're valued, that they matter. I want to be the dad who shows up to every school event, who helps with homework, who listens when they talk about their day, even if it seems trivial. I want to be safe.
His voice cracked on the last word, and Amy squeezed his hand.
More than anything, I want them to feel safe with me. Not scared, not anxious, just safe.
They will. I promise you they will.
They paid their bill and headed back to the truck. Once they were on the road again, the darkness wrapped around them like a blanket, intimate and peaceful. But as the miles passed, Ty felt something building inside him, a pressure, a need to speak that he couldn't contain anymore. He pulled over onto the shoulder of the highway, putting the truck in park.
Tay, what's wrong?
I need to tell you something about Wade, about what he did. I've never told anyone the whole story, but I need you to know. I need you to understand why I'm so scared.
Okay, I'm listening.
He stared out the windshield, his hands gripping the steering wheel so tightly his knuckles turned white.
Wade didn't just hit me. That would have been bad enough. But it was more than that. He was calculated, strategic. He knew how to hurt me in ways that wouldn't show. He'd pinch the inside of my arm, or twist my ear until I thought it would tear off, or pull my hair so hard I'd see stars. Places people couldn't see, bruises.
Amy's hand covered her mouth, tears already forming.
But worse than the physical stuff was what he said. He had this way of making me feel like I was nothing. Like I was a burden, a mistake, something he had to tolerate. He'd tell me I was stupid, worthless, that I'd never amount to anything, that no one could ever love me because I was fundamentally broken.
His voice broke completely, and tears started streaming down his face.
And the worst part is, I believed him. For years, I believed him. Even after I got away, even after I met you, there was this voice in my head repeating all those things. You're worthless. You're broken. You don't deserve happiness. You're broken. You don't deserve happiness. You're going to fail.
He turned to Amy, his face devastated.
What if I say something like that to our kid? What if I have a bad day and I'm tired and frustrated, and those words just come out? What if I'm not strong enough to stop the cycle?
Amy was crying openly now, her entire body shaking with the force of her emotion. She unbuckled her seatbelt and moved as close to him as the truck's interior would allow, taking his face in both hands.
Listen to me. Listen. You are nothing like Wade. Nothing. You know how I know? Because Wade never worried about being a good father. He never questioned himself, never tried to be better. But you're sitting here terrified of making mistakes, hyper-aware of every word you might say, determined to be different. That awareness, that fear even, that's what protects our child. That's what makes you safe.
But what if it's not enough?
It is enough. Ty, you are the gentlest person I've ever known. You apologize to horses when you have to give them shots. You cried when that bird we rescued flew away because you were worried it wouldn't find its flock. You hold me like I'm made of glass when you're afraid I might break. That gentleness, that tenderness, that's who you are at your core. Wade's cruelty isn't in you. It never was.
She pressed her forehead to his, both of them crying, both of them holding on like they might drown if they let go.
And we're going to navigate this together. Every doubt, Every fear, every moment when you feel like you're not doing enough, I'm right here. We're a team. You're not doing this alone.
I love you so much. I don't know what I'd do without you.
Good thing you'll never have to find out.
They sat like that for a long time, holding each other, crying together, letting years of pain and fear slowly drain away. When they finally pulled apart, both felt lighter somehow, unburdened.
Come on, I want to show you something.
Amy directed him off the highway onto a dirt road that wound through open prairie. After about 10 minutes, she had him pull over near a gate.
I found this place a few years ago, before we were married. I come here sometimes when I need to think.
They climbed over the gate and walked into a meadow that stretched endlessly under the star-filled sky. The grass was long and soft, swaying in the gentle night breeze. Above them, the Milky Way stretched across the heavens, more stars visible than seemed possible. Amy spread out a blanket she'd grabbed from the truck, and they lay down side by side, staring up at the infinite sky.
I used to come here after Mom died. I'd lie here and talk to her, tell her about my day, ask her questions I knew she couldn't answer. It made me feel close to her somehow.
Do you still talk to her?
Sometimes, especially lately with the baby coming. I wish she could meet them. I wish she could give me advice about being a mother.
She'd be so proud of you, Amy. Of who you've become. Of the life you're building.
I hope so.
She took his hand and placed it on her belly, holding it there.
Talk to them, to our baby. Make them promises.
Amy, I don't know what to say.
Yes, you do. Say what's in your heart.
Ty was quiet for a moment, his hand warm on Amy's belly, feeling the slight curve where their child was growing. When he spoke, his voice was soft but clear.
Hey, little one. It's your dad. I know you can't hear me yet, probably. But I need to say this anyway. I need you to know some things.
He paused, gathering his thoughts.
I promise that I will always keep you safe. Not just physically, but emotionally too. You'll never have to wonder if I love you, because I'll tell you every single day. You'll never have to earn my affection or approval. You'll have it just because you exist, just because you're you.
His voice grew stronger, more certain.
I promise to be present. When you take your first steps, say your first words, have your first day of school, I'll be there. When you fall down and need help getting back up, I'll be there. When you're scared or sad or confused, I'll be there. Always.
Tears were streaming down his face now, but he kept going.
I promise to be patient. I won't always get it right. I'll make mistakes. I'll have bad days. I'll probably mess up more times than I can count. But I promise to try, to learn, to be better tomorrow than I was today. And I promise to apologize when I'm wrong, to admit when I don't know something, to never pretend I'm perfect.
He took a shaky breath.
I promise to let you be whoever you want to be. If you love horses, great. If you don't, that's okay too. If you want to be a doctor or an artist or a rodeo star or anything else, I'll support you. Your path is your own, and I'll just be here cheering you on.
Amy was crying too now, her free hand covering Ty's on her belly.
And most importantly, I promise that you will always, always know that you're loved, that you're wanted, that you're valuable just because you exist. You'll never hear the words I heard as a kid. You'll never doubt your worth, because you are already the most precious thing in my life, and I haven't even met you yet.
He pressed his hand more firmly against Amy's belly.
I'm going to be the best father I can be for you. I promise!
The silence that followed was profound and sacred. Amy turned her head to look at Ty, seeing him in the starlight, seeing the man who would father her child, and felt overwhelming gratitude and love.
My turn.
She placed her own hand over Ty's on her belly.
Sweet baby, this is your mama. I've been waiting to meet you for so long, even before I knew you existed. You're already so loved, by me and your dad and your whole family.
Her voice was gentle but strong.
I promise to teach you about strength, not the kind that comes from being tough or never crying, but the kind that comes from being honest about your feelings, from asking for help when you need it, from standing back up after you fall down.
She smiled, thinking about her mother.
I promise to teach you about horses. Your great-grandmother Marion had a gift with them, and your grandmother well. I'll make sure you know all about her and the amazing woman she was. If you want to learn about horses, I'll teach you everything I know, and if you don't, I'll teach you to respect them anyway because they've taught me so much about life.
Her voice grew tender.
I promise to be kind, even when I'm tired or frustrated or overwhelmed, and I will be, because that's part of being a parent. I promise to treat you with kindness and respect. You're a person, a whole person, right from the start, and you deserve to be treated that way.
She took a deep breath.
I promise to tell you about your family, about your great-grandfather Jack, who built Heartland with his own hands, about your grandmother Marion, who had the most amazing gift, about all the people who came before you and made you possible. You come from strength and love and resilience, and I want you to know that history,
Her voice caught with emotion.
and I promise to love you exactly as you are. You don't have to be perfect or extraordinary or anything except yourself. You're already enough, just by being you. I promise to remind you of that every day of your life.
They lay there under the stars, both crying, both holding on to each other, and to the promise of the child growing between them. The night wrapped around them, quiet and peaceful, and for the first time since seeing those ultrasound pictures, Ty felt something shift inside him. The fear was still there. It probably always would be to some degree, but underneath it now was something stronger: determination. Love, hope.
Amy,
Yeah,
I think we're going to be okay. Not perfect, but okay.
better than okay. We're gonna be amazing.
They started talking then, imagining their future, teaching their child to ride, watching them take their first tentative steps in the saddle. Family dinners at the ranch house with Jack and Lou and everyone they loved. Bedtime stories in the loft, their child tucked between them, safe and loved. First days of school, scraped knees, teenage rebellion, graduations, all of it. The fear hadn't disappeared, but it had transformed into something manageable, something they could carry together. As the night deepened and they finally headed back to the truck, both felt at peace. They'd said what needed to be said, promised what needed to be promised, and faced the fears that had been haunting them.
We should go home. Everyone's probably worried.
Let them worry a little longer. This was important.
It was. Thank you for knowing what I needed.
That's what partners do. We know each other.
It was nearly midnight when they finally pulled into Heartland's driveway. The ranch house was ablaze with lights, and they could see silhouettes in the windows. The family was still awake, waiting for them.
Ready to face the Inquisition?
Ready to share the best news we've ever had.
They walked hand in hand to the house, carrying the ultrasound pictures. When they opened the door, they found Jack, Lou, Georgie, and even Tim all gathered in the living room, clearly having waited up.
Finally, we've been worried sick. How did it go?
It was perfect. Everything's perfect.
She handed the ultrasound pictures to Lou, who studied them with tears immediately filling her eyes.
Oh, Amy, look at your baby.
The pictures were passed around, everyone exclaiming over the tiny form, pointing out features, offering congratulations. Jack pulled both Amy and Ty into a hug, his eyes wet.
Congratulations, you two. I'm so happy for you.
Everything looked good? Baby's healthy?
Everything's perfect. Strong heartbeat, developing normally. Due date is still late March.
Can you tell if it's a boy or a girl yet?
Not yet. We'll find out at 20 weeks if we want to know.
Do you want to know?
We do. We want to be able to plan to use the right name from the start.
Speaking of which, I have something for you. Come outside.
He led them to his workshop, where the cradle he'd shown Ty earlier sat fully finished now, polished and beautiful in the workshop light.
This cradle has held every Bartlett baby for 3 generations. Marion slept in it. Lou and Amy slept in it. And now your baby will too.
Amy's hand went to her mouth, tears flowing freely. She ran her fingers over the smooth wood, seeing the love and history in every groove and joint.
Grandpa, it's beautiful.
I wanted you to have it now, so you can start imagining your baby sleeping in it, start making it real.
Thank you, Jack. This means everything.
Your family. This is what family does. We take care of each other, support each other, welcome new generations. Your baby is already so loved. You know that?
They stood together in the workshop, 3 generations, soon to be 4, connected by blood and choice and love. The cradle sat between them, a symbol of continuity and promise. Back in the house, Lou had already started making lists.
Okay, so we need to plan a baby shower and start working on the nursery, and you'll need to register for gifts.
Lou, breathe. We have time.
But there's so much to do, and it's already 12 weeks, which means you only have 6 months left.
She's right. You should start making plans. Get organized. But neither Amy nor Ty felt anxious about the chaos, or the planning, or any of it. They'd spent the evening processing their fears and making promises, and everything else felt manageable now.
We'll handle it, together.
Exactly. Together.
Eventually, everyone went to bed, exhausted but happy. Amy and Ty climbed the stairs to their loft, both of them moving slowly, the long day finally catching up with them. In the loft, they got ready for bed in comfortable silence. When they finally lay down, Amy curled into Ty's side, his hand automatically going to her belly.
What a day.
The best day, and the scariest, and the most emotional, all of it.
Do you feel better about everything?
I do. I'm still scared. I think I'll always be a little scared. But underneath the fear, I'm excited. I'm ready. We're going to do this.
We are, and we're going to be amazing at it.
They fell asleep like that, wrapped in each other, one of Ty's hands resting protectively on Amy's belly where their baby grew. Tomorrow they would face questions and planning and all the practical aspects of preparing for parenthood. But tonight they just held on to each other and to the promises they'd made under the stars. The next morning, Amy woke to find Ty already up, standing by the loft window with a cup of coffee, staring out at Heartland. She joined him, wrapping her arms around his waist from behind.
What are you thinking about?
About how different my life could have been if I hadn't come here, if Jack hadn't taken me in, if I hadn't met you. I'd probably be in jail or worse. But instead, I'm here, at Heartland, married to the love of my life, about to become a father.
He turned to face her, his eyes clear and peaceful.
I'm the luckiest person alive.
We both are.
They went downstairs together to start their day, stopping in the kitchen to grab breakfast. The ultrasound picture had been placed on the refrigerator, held up by a magnet, a small black and white image that represented everything they were working toward. Lou came into the kitchen, already dressed and organized, her tablet in hand.
Okay, I've started a registry list, and I've found 3 potential baby shower venues.
Lou, we haven't even finished our coffee yet.
But
Lou, let them breathe. They just found out yesterday. Give them some time to enjoy it before you start planning everything.
Lou looked like she might protest, but then she saw Amy's hand resting on her belly, saw Ty's arm around her shoulders, saw the peaceful happiness on both their faces, and she relented.
you're right, I'm sorry. I just get excited.
I know, and I love you for it. But can we just have today to enjoy this before we start planning?
Deal.
As the family gathered for breakfast, Jack, Lou, Georgie, and the newly announced parents to be there was a feeling of rightness, of completion, of joy. The ultrasound picture on the fridge caught the morning light, and every time someone walked past it, they smiled. This was family. This was home. This was everything. And in approximately 6 months, it would grow by one more precious member. That concludes today's episode of Heartland and our special 2-part ultrasound series. Amy and Ty's transformative night continued with deep conversations at a roadside diner about baby names: Jack for a boy, Lindy for a girl, honoring the family members who'd meant the most to them. Over burgers and milkshakes, they discussed what kind of parents they wanted to be, both determined to break cycles and create something new and healthy for their child. In the truck, Ty finally shared the full details of Wade's abuse, not just the physical violence, but the calculated cruelty and the devastating words that had shaped his self-image for years. Amy's response was fierce and unwavering. Ty's awareness of the damage words can cause, his gentleness with all living things, and his determination to be different are exactly what will make him an amazing father. The cycle is already broken simply because he's aware of it. But the most powerful moment came in a starlit meadow, where Amy asked Ty to make promises to their unborn child. His vows to provide safety, love, presence, patience, and unconditional acceptance were profound and healing. Amy's own promises to teach strength, kindness, and honor Marion's legacy completed the sacred moment. For the first time, Ty's fear transformed into hope and determination. When they finally returned to Heartland, sharing the ultrasound pictures with family, Jack presented them with the heirloom cradle that had held 3 generations of Bartlett babies. The symbol of continuity and belonging was the perfect ending to a perfect day. The ultrasound picture now sits on the refrigerator, a daily reminder of the life they're creating, the family they're growing, and the promises they've made to the tiny person who will change everything. If you enjoyed this emotional series, please like and subscribe, and tell us in the comments what promises would you make to your child. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Until next time, this is Western Flavors.